Greetings, everyone. The Citizen newspaper of the 15th of October 2024 has a story titled Home Affairs in Dire Condition Spends Million on Deportations. That's Action Essays Ngobeni. So it talks about the parliamentarian, a member of parliament of Action SA, Lerato Ngobeni, who has been doing oversight visits in the last week as part of giving an update of the first 100 days of the government of national unity in South Africa. But we know, of course, that Action SA is not part of the government. That is the national government of the national government of unity, government of national unity. So she visited a number of facilities, including Lindela. In her own assessment, the article says that South Africa spends so much in deporting migrants to their countries of origin. When she visited the Lindela Repatriation Center in Krugersdorp, she says she was happy that it was clean, neat. I've not been there for quite some time, so it's difficult to engage on what she said. But the reports, of course, that we are getting, people are not happy about the conditions in Lindela. The article continues, says, I quote, although awaiting the freshest figures, 23.3 million rands was spent in the 2019-2020 financial year. Ngobeni said she calculated the cost of deporting people to one specific West African nation to be in the region of 3 million rands for the last year. As per the figures released by Home Affairs recently, 86 Nigerians, 3,020 Malawians, and 7,393 Zimbabweans were deported in the 2022-2023 financial year. Ministerial Striper's office was contacted to elaborate on the costs involved with deportation, but no comment had been received at the time of publication. The article continues, says, Ngobeni's overall assessment of the way South Africa deals with foreign nationals looking to make a new life south of Limpopo was negative. She's quoted as saying, the situation is dire. We are not tracking undocumented foreign nationals in our country. Home Affairs has no idea as to who is here, who is not, close quote. Our view, which we have been expressing over the years, is that in the case of migrants from neighboring countries, that is within the SADC region, while you deport a person, you leave the person across the border, they are back. Some in the next 24 hours. Yes, of course, those from Malawi, the 3,020, if they were deported to Malawi, it makes it difficult for them to make their way back. But the 7,393 Zimbabweans, because it is common cause that people would use other means to get to South Africa. While South Africa has a right to deport any person that is in the country undocumented. But is it the solution, given the costs that are involved? Of course, I know others would say, it's our money, so we don't comment when we spend money to deport people. But in 2019-2020 financial, 23.3 million rands was spent on deporting. Of course, the new figures are not available with respect to the people that were deported in 2022-2023. Of course, we know that the 86 Nigerians that were deported, none of them might be back to South Africa because of the distance between South Africa and Nigeria. But we are not sure about the 7,393 Zimbabweans. In the build-up to 2010, one of the issues that we're raising, which gave where government then agreed to grant special permits, was that deportation is not the answer. You deport the person to Zimbabwe, they are back. You deport the person to Mozambique, they are back. You deport the person to Lesotho, they are back. You deport them to Eswatini, they are back. Is not the answer. And they were warped. And we hope that the government of national unity will revisit that. When the then Minister Kigaba was in office, the department came up with a white paper on international migration. We've spoken about it here in this channel. But of course, in 2022, it was replaced. The white paper, as gazetted in 2017, noted that deporting is not the answer, particularly migrants from the SADC region. As I said, you deport, the person gets back. So the solution, while people will talk of saying border management and so forth, but human beings always find a way to get into South Africa. And we believe that it is time that the proposals that are contained in the white paper, as gazetted in 2017, are revisited. SADC work visa, SADC cross-border visa, SADC business visa. We've seen in the last few days, people that have worked for 10 years in the hospitality industry being raided in restaurants. While we agree, and we do not dispute, that priority must be given to South Africans. We don't dispute that. But the reality is, you have people that have been working for the past 10 years in a restaurant. They are not documented. For the last 10 years, they have been used as cheap labor. Right? And the solution is just to arrest them, deport back to Zimbabwe or Mozambique or Lesotho. But the next day they are here. So capital, because South Africa is a purely capitalist economy. And capitalism is built on exploitation. And we do not think, in our view, we do not think that the government of national unity will reverse the exploitation of migrant workers in South Africa. We do not think so. Yes, we see these visits that are happening. But employers are exploiting migrant labor. Be they domestic workers, be they in the hospitality industry, be they working in the farms. And they know that the solution is not deporting. And we do not think that the government of national unity will be successful in deporting people. Even if you deport, they come back. So the solution, in our view, is to document people that are already working in South Africa. We know we've been insulted, it's fine. But the people that are already engaged in productive work need to be documented. So these special circumstances exist to document these migrant workers. What are these special circumstances? It's because for years they've been working. They've been part of the South African economy. Yes, they are not documented, but they've been part of the South African economy. So it does not help, in our view, to go to Rosebank, close off Rosebank Mall, for the purposes of raiding all restaurants, inspecting who's there. And the employers, of course, they will not be happy. because they are counting losers, right? So the solution is that document these individuals that are working in the hospitality industry, as opposed to deporting them. Because if the Department of Labor visits these places, here are workers, they are not documented, migrant workers, document them so that they are not exploited, document them, then deal with the issues in the hospitality industry, the issue of tips. Because one of the main concerns that has been raised is that most of the workers in the hospitality industry do not have a basic salary. Right? So if they are not documented, they continue to be exploited. And this failure to document, it then opens an avenue for corruption. Earlier on, we recorded a video about some Home Affairs officials that have been arrested, corruption. But because human beings in a capitalist society are driven by money, you will arrest some but not arrest everyone. So you will continue to see these documents, which are fake documents, finding their way, circulating, because people want to survive. So as we're concluding is that we do not think that deporting is the answer. Let's go back, or South Africa should go back, in our view, Government of National Unity, to the white paper gazetted in 2017, grant SADC work visa to those that already are working, grant cross-border visa to those that are doing cross-border trade, grant SADC business visa, as a way of knowing who is in South Africa. As the Member of Parliament from Action SA says, Home Affairs does not know who's who in the country. And it's simple because people are not documented. Please like this video, write your comments, and kindly subscribe. If you're on TikTok, please do follow us. Otherwise, goodbye.